One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on to wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Vietnam. Hey, good to see everyone, man. Much love, honor, respect to everybody. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful freaking morning. It's a hump day morning. Absolutely, hump day. Good to see everyone, man. We got a lot to discuss today. A lot of kind of interesting stories that are not going to be in the mainstream media. We're going to start off with those two, obviously, because the mainstream media is not going to show off little tiny things. It takes guys like me to go ahead and talk about them to go ahead and break the seal on that. And maybe, hopefully, it can get out to the mainstream, right? That is what we're doing out here. But good to see everyone, man. Good to see everyone. Appreciate everybody for being here. Before we get into the madness of today, because as you guys see, we have Israel-Hamas war updates. One of the Hamas leaders was unalived this morning. And and then we have Trump updates, and then today Conclave is to elect a new pope. That's happening today. It's actively happening right now. The votes are actually happening this moment. But anyways, before we get into it, man, make sure you guys hit that like button. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. And if you guys are brand new to the show, hit that subscribe button because it's also free. And by the way, please consider becoming a member, starting only at $2.99 a month, making sure we're not going to be breaking no bank out here. But listen, this is exactly how we get to speak the way that we do over here is because we're 100% funded by you guys. And we don't get paid jack shit from views. We just don't. We don't make enough views on this side to even for it to be a paycheck. So this is how you guys do it. And we never have to rely on that shit. You know what I mean? You'll always have an uncensored mic that way. Also, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my lifestyle, but of the show, as well as Millennial Food Time. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. I haven't been active, like, responding-wise in the last, 3-4 days since I've returned home from California. So I need to. I'll stop being lazy on that. I will absolutely respond. It's hard when you've collect a fuck ton of messages that it's almost like intimidating, so it's kind of just growing pain shit. But we also have the Discord for all of us to continue the conversation afterwards, after the show. Naomi has the link, so she's going to be putting that in there periodically. Make sure you guys join up. And last but not least, of course, all donations are going to be announced and shouted out onto the freaking live stream. All super stickers, gifted memberships, membership signups, super chats, all of that stuff. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut, we have these platforms that you guys can donate to. And of course, I will, shout you out and your message over there as well. Shit. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it because we got a lot to discuss this morning. So I apologize for me rambling on. But good to see everyone, man. We got freaking Mount High up in the building. Shout out to my man right there with that like button and left-handed tobacco. That's right. We actually have a story on left-handed tobacco as our very first story. So stick around. It's kind of interesting what's happening here. And yes, make sure you guys hit that like button, man. It's helps out the show immensely. Thank you, Naomi. We got Shadow up in here as well as SNS. XTOS, man. Good to see you. Rabbit of Chaos. Appreciate you guys. Tiffany up in here as well. Thank you so much. We got Warlin as well. And there is the Discord link, by the way. Make sure you guys hit up that Discord link if you guys aren't already in there. I'm telling you, that's where we all hang out. We got Hook Dog up as well, man. Good to see you. We got freaking Are We Not Men up in here. Good to see you, by the way. Nice badges and emojis. Yes, Naomi definitely up the game like a motherfucker. If you can't donate money, hit that like and subscribe for the best takes on our political news. Hey, man, I very much appreciate that. That's a big W, by the way. Thank you for that. So, like I was saying, there's going to be some stuff that is happening that is not going to be in the mainstream. One is a little exciting and one is kind of irrelevant to most of you guys, but it's important to me because I live here in Alabama. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off with a local story, something that's happening. I'm making my own story, essentially. I'm just reporting on it. So we got the Alabama Cannabis Coalition. There is an actual coalition here. Nonetheless, yesterday, or last night, like super late last night, it was like 11:30 at night or something ridiculous. They passed to go ahead and ban all hemp products, THC products, THCA, all the crap that the Delta 8, Delta 9, all the crap, right? So it's been officially passed. I'll go ahead and read it for you guys, so I'm not just summarizing it. Okay, so today, Alabama State Senator Tim Melson made it clear he supports the prohibition of cannabis. What is ironic is that 4 years ago today, 5/6/2021, he touted himself as a hero to the citizens of the state of Alabama, successfully passing AL, which is Alabama, SB 46/2021 to provide legal medical cannabis to the citizens of Alabama. To date, SB 46 has yet to be implemented. Senator Tim Melson made it his primary mission and goal of 2025 Alabama legislative session to destroy the hemp industry in Alabama, and he succeeded. So it was passed. Basically, it passed the House last night, or I'm sorry, it passed 4/10/2025 and 5/6/2021, which meaning the 5/6/2021 is basically the Senate side, and then the recent one is on the House side. Okay, so now that we've got that, the citizens of Alabama continue to be in desperate need of legal access to cannabis. Unfortunately, hemp has been the only avenue that the sick, suffering, and dying citizens of Alabama have had available to them to treat their chronic conditions, and hemp has successfully provided the relief that many patients needed. Now, hemp products are fucking pretty much lame. I'm just going to be honest. That THCA is cool, but it's not the real. Like, I wish they would just make it completely legal. I don't understand why it's a big issue. I really don't understand why it's such a fucking issue. I mean, especially with a guy like me, trust me, I use left-handed tobacco for multitudes of reasons, and it's only been a positive thing on my life personally. And I didn't even start smoking it until I lost my leg. So, yeah, if that doesn't speak volumes, I don't know what does. Anyways, so let's see here. Unfortunately, hemp has been the only avenue, right? Okay, blah, blah, blah. And shame on you, Senator Melson. Shame on you for the sham that you perpetrated on all the legislators making false claims, and that your concerns were for the children of the state of Alabama to garner sympathy for your control and regulation agenda. Now, let me go ahead and explain this part, okay? Let me just go ahead and explain this part real quick. So, I like that, Anson, by the way. I like that. I think Mike is faking his disability. That's a fake fake leg. Yes, W take, by the way. W take. I like that. By the way, good morning to you, Dwayne. I see you up in here. And Dean Savage as well, man. Good morning. Stick around. We're just going through a couple little local things here that I wanted to discuss and I want to bring to everyone's attention. So with this whole comment about the children, okay, you guys saw that. It's because what ended up happening is they allowed hemp products to be basically sold everywhere. I'm not talking like actual real weed. It's THCA or Delta 8, Delta 9, whatever. Anyways, they allowed the sale of it in gas stations. Now, that's the one thing that it's like, okay, I can understand this avenue in protecting the children because of gas stations. Well, you're supposed to be of age anyways to purchase tobacco, alcohol, or any of this from a gas station. But this is where children can go. And the guys that are handling this shit probably don't give a fuck about it. So what my theory was why not just go ahead and sell that stuff at like actual smoke shops? You know what I mean? Like where it has to be, you have to be 18 years old to enter the fucking building. You can't even be in there unless you're of age. So why not just sell it in only smoke shops? So instead of banning the whole fucking thing, why not just sell just permits to these certain places? I don't even care if it's let's say $5,000 a year for the permit. Whatever. At least we have access to it. You don't need to delete it off of like where now it's illegal. You know what I mean? Anyways, back to this. With regards to the children, that's my way of solving the whole children thing, because that's what they're going to argue that it's in all gas stations and shit. Anyways, we emailed you and asked for the information that you claim to have, and you never so much as replied to our email requests. Of course, that's usually what they do. That's kind of standard operation by them, at least. Okay, I'm sorry. I kind of lost myself here. We'll go ahead and bring it down here. We'll go ahead and bring it down. So I'm trying to see where. Okay. And as if it wasn't enough insult, right? We had to hear legislators publicly call us drug pushers. We heard that those of us in support of the Alabama hemp industry attending these committee hearings were vaping in committee hearings, and we all looked like we belonged in drug rehab court. Now, I smoke a normal vape right here all the time. And a couple of people in the audience doesn't, or the people in those whatever hearings doesn't reflect the entire industry. But anyways, Senator Milson, you can sit on your throne of judgment and claim that you are protecting the children of Alabama and protecting citizens from products that are unsafe, but we don't see you speaking out against alcohol that kills 178,000 people a year, or nicotine, or the opioid deaths, or the poisons in our food supply, or the toxins in our water. Cannabis has never killed a single person. The citizens of Alabama who support cannabis sativa know the truth and facts about this miraculous plant, and they can see for themselves who you truly are. So what kind of bummed me out about this whole thing is basically the senator came out and said that we're going to go ahead and do this. And then without having the public's vote or anything, they did their own vote. Of course, that's what we vote for them to do. But this happened late last night. And something that I found really interesting about this whole ordeal, let me go ahead and just bring this up real quick, was this. All right. So let me go ahead and try to get myself over here. Okay. So this right here was the breaking news last night, or this morning it was on. HB 445 has passed. Nearly all hemp products will be illegal in Alabama by July 2025, which is really weird because it's saying that they're going to be almost all hemp products, nearly all hemp products. Well, why not all of them? That's my initial thinking process. But anyways, it goes illegal in July 1st of 2025. So anyways, It says July 1st, 2025, nearly all hemp-derived THC products will be banned from retail sale in Alabama unless sold in tightly restricted state licensed locations. This includes Delta 8, Delta 9, THC-A, gummies, vapes, tinctures, flour, soft gels, and more. Only hemp beverages will remain legal in large grocery stores with special licenses. Wait, what? Wait, what? I don't understand. If it's unsafe and something that we shouldn't have at all, why is it at grocery stores in drinks? And why is that's what's allowed? Now, okay. So we have the ABC board here in the state of Alabama, which is, I forget the exact what it stands for, but it's basically an Alabama's alcohol board. They saw a big dip in their sales this last year. And it's ironic that the only thing that can stay around is a drink product, which this whole thing stemmed from the whole ABC thing because there's a lot of financial reasons for this shit. Anyways, I thought this was kind of bogus. I thought this was bullshit that they wouldn't just ban it all. It's either all or nothing, homie. That's the way I look at it. Like, if you're going to do it, just fucking do it and delete it. But when I see inconsistencies like that, it raises my eyebrow a little bit. So anyways, that is that story. I just wanted to talk about it for a second. There's going to be a lot more that I'm going to be dealing with on my side for my left-handed tobacco usage over here. Because, you know, I like to be in the know of what's happening. Anyways, I was sent this morning by Hardwire 1%er, by the way. I got to go ahead and play this for you guys. This was something that is going to be, that's going to enrage you, especially if you're a biker, if you're somebody that is in this culture. Even people that aren't, you're going to look at this and be like, dude, what the fuck? So, just a little, advice here, or a little, I guess, safety announcement. You know, if you don't want to watch this shit, then turn this shit off now for about a minute because it is kind of gruesome. So, warning's been out. All right, here we go.
Police are investigating after an apparent road rage incident turned into a hit and run that injured a motorcyclist in Beaverton, Oregon. Video shows the interaction between the driver of a Kia Carnival minivan and a motorcycle rider when the van sideswiped the motorcycle.
Listen, we have road rage incidents all the time with bikers. It happens all the fucking time because we get cut off all the time and we get fucking pissed off because we almost died because you're stupid ass. And then we're like, dude, fuck you, man. Like, why would you almost killed me? And then that happens? Like, holy shit. Now, I'm just speculating. I have no idea what they're actually arguing about. I have no idea. But this is in Ohio. And I thought this would be an interesting watch for you guys.
And fled the scene.
Being reported by CNN.
The motorcyclist sustained serious injuries and was transported to the nearest hospital for treatment, according to police.
Fuck, that's terrible, dude. That is absolutely terrible. So those were the two local stories I just kind of wanted to go ahead and bring to your guys' attention this morning. Before we get into the mainstream, let's go ahead and get that ready. We're going to go ahead and start discussing a couple of things. We have a couple of stories that we're going to go ahead and go over. But yeah, all right, let's go ahead and check this out.
We do begin our broadcast with breaking news out in the Middle East. Take a good look at your screen. This is the very latest.
That's exactly it, 13. The beverage companies are buying the politicians. 100% ABC. ABC being, let me actually look it up. That's what I need to do that. ABC Board, Alabama. Okay. I've got it right here. This is what it is. I have it. We're going to go ahead and share that screen. Give me a sec. Boom. Okay. This is Alabama abcboard.gov, whatever. alabcboard.gov. Alabama says registration open. Now you can see that this is a obvious, look at the control they have. This runs all of our basic shit here in Alabama. Everything regarding like, look, this is where you want to get like licensing and shit like that, how to apply and all this shit. Yeah. Tobacco and nicotine. Anyways, these are the ones that this is the board that made a big, huge fucking fuss over this cannabis ordeal. And they saw that they were down in sales, and what was up in sales was hemp products. And so they're like, we're gonna delete that. Anyways, yes, it's fucking total bogus bullshit, but it is what it is, right? All right, so let's go ahead and get back into the mainstream over here.
From our content partners over at Fox News.
What's up, Papa Penguin? Good morning.
Continue to follow
Ghost Survival
out in the Middle East. We are learning bright and early this morning an Israeli drone strike on a car in southern Lebanon killed an official with the Palestinian militant group.
Look at this, and yeah, it is fucked up, Dwayne. So look at this. Israeli drone strike in Lebanese port city kills Hamas leader. Now, this is up in Lebanon, obviously. And let me go ahead and crank the volume a little bit. I'm sorry, I brought it down for that previous video. But anyways, let's go ahead and listen in. This is one of the major political, I believe he's an officer of the Hamas division in Lebanon, right there on the border.
Hamas this Wednesday. Authorities confirming that
which was this morning.
Information with the Associated Press. Hamas said in a statement that Khaled Ahmad al-Ahmed, who was a member of its military wing, was killed while he was on his way to a mosque.
Oh, it's Oregon? Oh, I thought it was Ohio. My bad. It's Oregon. It was OR up there. You're right. Appreciate the correction.
Prayers. The Israeli military confirming that it had targeted al-Ahmad, saying he was a commander with Hamas in South Lebanon and was behind several attacks against Israel. A lot to discuss, so we want to bring into the conversation.
What's up, Todd J, by the way? We got Asaf that's about to come in and give us the breakdown on this.
Executive Director of Scholars for Peace in the Middle East, Dr. Asaf Romawaski. Dr. Asaf, good morning to you. Always a pleasure having you on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So we always love how you contextualize the breaking news. I first want to share with the viewers and yourself this latest information as we are getting...
What's up, Steve Posey? Shit, bunch of you hooligans. I wouldn't say lazy. I'd say crazy. Crazy motherfuckers. But yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button. I very much would appreciate that. And thank you for pointing that out, Steve.
As it relates to this breaking news, that's not it. So I will bring you back on.
Here it is.
There we go.
Boom.
Israel War Room saying, quote, earlier today, which is Wednesday. Obviously, we know that there is a time difference. They say the IDF struck in the area of Sidon and eliminated the terrorist Khalid al-Ahmed, who served as the head of operation in Hamas's Western Brigade in Lebanon. Throughout the war, the terrorists advanced numerous terrorist attacks against Israel.
Don't be talking about your tuna can over there.
We have seen this in real time right here on Live Now from Fox. Dr. Asaf, those terrorist attacks as relates to buses being blown up, people being eradicated. Could you provide perspective on this breaking news?
Sure. So again, let's contextualize what we're seeing here. So it's important to note, of course, that...
That's a fair point, by the way, Papa. He says Scholars for Peace in the Middle East. I think those guys need to read a few more books. I'm not sure there ever has been peace in that region. Yeah, and you're very right. And how can you be a scholar on something that's never happened? Shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Ahmed was also a member of Hamas, but also he was targeted in the area of the southern part of Israel, showing the mobility of Hamas mobilizing around the country. The center of operations of Hamas, as you and I have discussed, and we all know, has been, of course, Gaza, given the focus on Gaza. But let's not forget that Hamas is not limited to Gaza, given, as you said correctly, they have been, using their attacks within the area of Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, within northern Israel, as far as Lebanon, and again, on the Lebanese border when it comes to the area of Sidon. I mean, that also shows the connectivity between Hamas and Hezbollah. Hezbollah, that's, the Lebanon and Syria in particular are, that's usually Hezbollah's area, geographically speaking.
Right. Well, that is true. Up there in Lebanon, that's usually right there. That would be Hezbollah. But as you guys know, in Iran's proxy war with Israel, Hamas and Hezbollah are both one and the same. Essentially, they're totally working together under Iran. So
the IDF is conducting surgical attacks on these leaders and are going after them. And all of this is all part of the larger campaign that the Israelis have now announced as far as the acceleration of the war on Hamas in Gaza in particular, but also on Hamas's leadership wherever they may be. The argument that is being made by the Israeli government that the more military pressure is going to be on Hamas,
What's up, Mirage? I see you over there on the Twitch side, by the way. It's saying Hassan and his orbiters are crying over this news. Absolutely. I can guarantee you that Hassan, out of everybody, has everything to say about it. I can guarantee that. But hey, good to see you over there on the Twitch side. Appreciate it. But we are you got to come over here on the YouTube side too and hang out with all of us over here. We got a big community over here. So you should come over and hang out with us at Insane Wheels. Come and hang out with us.
Will pressure Hamas to release the hostages. And so that's part of the ongoing campaign that is going on here. In the meantime, you are seeing attacks all over the place. In tandem, you did see also an attack on Hezbollah officials, namely people who were involved in...
Real quick, you guys, just got to say, you guys don't have to like what's happening right now in the world, okay? You guys don't have to. But you guys can like the video for me and my takes. Yeah, always appreciate that. Much love and respect.
Individuals involved in the Redwan forces, analogous to the Nukba forces that Hamas uses. Those are the strike attacks. And so you have ongoing pressure that's coming in on all fronts as this war continues. Again, I think that it is critical to note that in order to move this along, also over the weekend, we all saw Israel calling up more reserve forces being called up to go in.
This shit is about to get fucking out of control. This shit's about to get wild. And you're right about that, especially the way that you just worded that all the way across. We got Papa Penguin dropping the 5 memberships. That's way bigger than a 5 spot. But hey, man, very much appreciate it. It says, gotta spread the love, man. Hey, I very much appreciate that, man. Thank you for helping not only me, but people in the Breakfast Club, man. I very much appreciate you guys and your patronage, man. And we got A2Z up in the building. What's up, man? Good to see you. Saying smash that like button. Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
To Gaza.
Appreciate that, Papa.
Part
Thank
of
you.
The acceleration
Seriously.
Of the campaign. And the question really remains, what are the results going to be? The bigger issue, of course, remains, notwithstanding the war, is, of course, what this all means to the fate of the hostages, which are still being played as political pawns in all of this.
Dr. Asaf, we're also learning bright and early this Wednesday morning, courtesy of the Associated Press, that Israeli strikes across Gaza have killed at least 59 people. They're saying this as Israel ramps up its fight in Gaza to try to eradicate Hamas. Many people saying they aren't surprised by this because from the very beginning, IDF said they would not stop until Hamas was eradicated. Further,
yeah, we know that. They could hand over every one of those hostages right this second. It's not going to stop a damn thing.
Contextualizing, saying this fight is not against the Palestinian people, but against Hamas. Yet we do see innocent Palestinians that do continue to die.
And that's unfortunate. These are part of the casualties of the war itself. Let's not forget the fact that, and this is something that you and I have discussed extensively throughout the past 17 months or so, is the fact that...
Oh, shit. That would be crazy, Papa. That would be super rad. That's a really good idea.
The matter is that Hamas uses by design the civilian infrastructure in order to create mass casualties. And they are also using civilian neighborhoods, civilian buildings, all civilian architecture as it relates to hospitals, mosques, schools, as a way to create and those locations and make them targets so they can showcase Israel as targeting civilians. This is part of the unfortunate reality that Israel is dealing with, because Israel has been fighting what we know to be urban warfare. That being said, the ratio of the amount of combatants to combatants that the IDF has been able to maintain is the lowest ever.
I'm totally down, Papa. That would be a badass. That'd be super fun for everybody.
As a result of them having
Super
these
selfless
military operations, not doing airstrikes, going hand to hand, doing the hand to hand combat, doing the ground operations, in order to ensure the fact that they're able to maintain as much of the integrity of the civilian part of Gaza. And this is all part of the challenge that you're seeing play out here. The other part of all this relates to the aid that has been a question about, is aid coming in? Again, aid has been halted, but what has been happening is that while aid has been allowed to come in, Hamas is the one stealing the aid,
which they've been doing the same bullshit with all of this, with all the trucks that were going in. You would have, I don't even remember what the exact percentage was of how much those stores would actually go to the civilians, the people that actually live there, the Palestinian people. That's who it's deserved to. And then Hamas, their own fucking officials, I hate to call them that, but their own terrorist officials, they jack their own shit from their own people and then sell it back to them for like 100 times the what it's actually worth. Like, dude, these guys are such, like, as if they actually care about their fucking people. It's all bullshit.
And again, preventing and aggrandizing the sense of starvation in order to create this theater
loud
that they want
noises
to create for the world to see all about.
I'm
this.
sorry.
At the same time, Hamas has also been very clear that they are rejecting any possibility of any truce and any kind of
yeah, I didn't see anything before that. Are we not, man?
Exchanges with the Israelis. This is all on the heels, and this is all really part of the, it's related to your first question regarding contextualizing all this, which is very critical. It is now said that President Trump is going to be heading out to the Middle East next week for a visit to Saudi Arabia, potentially with Qatar. And so the question is really going to play out here. How is his visit and the amount of pressure that's going to come down from the White House and Trump himself going to help alleviate the situation? He does have no plans to go to Israel. He said he is, potentially later on, but not currently on this trip. But that being said, there's no doubt that any trip to the Middle East, especially as it relates to potentially dealing with the Qataris, potentially dealing with the Saudis, will involve questions and debates about the fate of the ongoing war when it relates to Israel and Gaza.
Of course.
Dr. Asaf Ramarwaski.
Yeah, until that's eradicated.
Thank you so much for your detailed perspective and expertise on all things Middle East conflict, specifically this breaking news alert. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, as always.
Thank you. We are going to step aside.
All right, let's go ahead and move ahead here. As you guys know, Cardinals attend final mass ahead of Conclave to elect the new Pope, which is happening actively right now. They may have even selected one by now. I don't know. I don't know how long the process really is. Okay, so real quick, got to give you guys an update. As of today, the real ID is now required for air travel. I was one of the last people to travel before they actually when I was going through TSA, they were actually giving me a sheet of paper that's like, hey, on what's today, the 7th? Yes, May 7th. That May 7th is going to be the last day, or is the exact day that you have to have a real ID to fly now. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about it for a second.
Travelers will still be able to fly without it, but at least for now. The enforcement, though, still begins.
Actually, I didn't bring it back all the way. I thought I did. I'd like to go ahead and get the whole little report here.
With Fox 29 Philadelphia, Cheyenne Corn. She joins us live this morning from the Philadelphia airport.
Yeah, I would assume anytime that we talk about a certain star state, and I'm sure everyone knows what we're talking about, we definitely get heavily censored in the chat. Just happens. It's nothing new for anyone that's been here a long time, because there was a long time where I was reporting on Israel every day, like for a long time. But yeah, a lot of people get censored, and it's, I don't agree with it, but that's just exactly, anytime that we have that in the title, it's like instant. Okay. Anyways, back to this. Boom.
With the very latest. Cheyenne, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, Homeland Security, they're kind of giving people a little bit of a break, because they are saying that even if you do not have your real ID, you are still able to fly. However, there is a twist, though, because if you don't have the real ID, you will be spending some more time with the security.
Do you see that chick
here at the Philadelphia
She
airport?
literally
You
has
can
in her
see that
hand.
things are going pretty smoothly.
I want to show what she has in her hand right there, dude.
However, there is a twist, though, because if you don't have the real ID,
she's at TSA, and as you're about to go into TSA, they're handing these out in every airport. They're handing them out saying that you need to have this shit.
you will be spending some more time with the security here at the Philadelphia airport. You can see that things are going pretty smoothly. This has kind of been consistent all morning. There really hasn't been a line, but this is pretty much what happened. So just hours before.
What's up, Straight Jacket? Good morning to you, kind sir. You missed quite a bit of news already this morning. There was a lot that we already discussed. 2 stories that are not even going to be in the mainstream. We had to, do some local stories. And then, of course, we just finished up with Israel, and I believe there's still even a part of Israel that is in the news cycle today that we're going to discuss, I believe. Anyways.
For that real ID deadline, Homeland Security announced that travelers will still be able to fly without it.
Yo, brother, so loud up in the building saying, what's up, Mike? Much respect to you and the ballers. Hope everyone is having a great day. It's a beautiful day here in the boondocks of North Carolina. Yes, sir. Hey, shout out to you, man, for hanging out with us, man. Always appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, we got a lot of shit going on here.
For now, the enforcement, though, still begins today. And if you don't have the real ID, you may need to stand in a separate security line or deal with extra screenings. However, Homeland Security says they are trying their best to make this process as seamless as possible. Yesterday, we spoke to people waiting in hours-long lines at the DMV across our area.
Somebody told me it's going to be long.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get mine too, Naomi. I'm a frequent flyer, I gotta have it.
But then,
and I have a 10-year passport too, but
I didn't think it was going to be all the way around the corner. So I knew it was going to be long. And to be honest, they've been advertising to get a real ID for a little while, and I probably should have got it earlier.
Really,
so
Jeremy?
This is what I
believe this is a federal thing. Like, this is across everywhere. This is when I flew to California from Alabama, they were all saying May 7th. And then when I was in Houston and in Colorado, they all said I needed the real ID. So where are you going to be able to go to? It seems like everywhere is, it's kind of crazy it's even being reported on. Well, what's up, Jeremy? Good to see you, man.
And Homeland Security says that 81% of travelers
that makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, it's easier for me to just fly around with my ID.
IDs that comply with the new requirements.
Unless I'm going international.
ID or possibly something like a passport. And while you may not need a real ID just yet to fly, AAA suggests still getting it ASAP to avoid any issues, because eventually you will need one to not only fly, you will also need it to enter certain federal buildings. But as you just heard that lady say, a lot of people really procrastinated on getting that real ID. So
theoretically, I wouldn't theoretically need it, because I have my TWIC, which is basically transportation's workers identification credential, and then I have my passport as well. So theoretically, I don't need it, but I'm just gonna end up fucking getting it. What's up, chatting with Stacks? Man, good to see my man right here.
you have
Good morning.
not done it yet, you are told that you should, but at least you are able to fly. You just will have to go through some extra screenings. Now, we did have a chance to speak with someone from TSA. He kind of broke down what that process looks like a little bit. He said it may just take you an extra few minutes. So he's actually suggesting not only people who don't have a real ID, but everyone to maybe just give themselves an extra 30 minutes while they, really figure out how to handle things. But again, here at Philadelphia Airport all morning,
You'll still need it with a passport? What? But you won't need an ID, a real ID to fly international though, right? Because maybe they've just changed it completely over. I have no idea.
have been going really smoothly.
I'm just going to get it.
All right, Fox 29 Philadelphia, Cheyenne Court. And Cheyenne, we've been seeing and hearing from officials. They were saying, regardless, if you don't have that real ID, also make sure to bring your passport. Have you been seeing and hearing people doing that and then they're able to move through the lines a lot quicker?
Yeah, we actually
allegedly saying, morning, sorry I'm late. Hoping both you and Lucy are well and she's recovering nicely. She definitely is, by the way. She's doing great. Are you on tonight with the other two gentlemen? I am. That is tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a great time. I believe we're going to be talking about NATO. I believe that's what we're going to be discussing is NATO. But good morning to you. Good to see you.
Also spoke with AAA, and they were calling the passport that golden ticket, and that's exactly what I have. I have a passport. I don't have my real ID yet.
Absolutely, Warren. Be safe
TSA,
out there.
They also said that they've been seeing a lot of people who are
and Gary as well, man. Good morning to you, kind sir. Good to see you.
Who are flying domestically have their passport, which usually isn't the case. A lot of people usually only have their passport if they are flying out of the country. But if you don't have the real ID, then you need it. And it sounds like people really were listening to all of the directions and are getting through the process pretty smoothly.
All right. I'm sure a lot of people are right there with you having that golden ticket. Always a pleasure having you on the show, Cheyenne. Thank you so much. You and your team have a great rest of your day. And we do want to transition this morning, getting back.
Okay. So they're just going to show off them. They've been voting for the last, or trying to vote for the last, I guess, about 4 hours. So it's going to go on and on and on. There's big ass ceremonies and all that shit, as you guys would expect. Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and skip ahead in the news, though. We are pretty much done with that segment. We've got up here, we do have some news. We do have some news to report on. I believe it's an update on Israel. I'm scrolling through slowly because I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Okay. We're getting close. Here we go. Okay, so this is a kind of an interesting story here, ladies and gentlemen. This one is definitely interesting. We're going to go ahead and back this up a little bit. Get right on cue.
May 7th. Take a look at your screen. As you may have seen some of this video already over the past several days here. A ceasefire deal between Yemen's Houthi
I'm going to let you guys
and
be able to see this. So Israel unaware of U.S. and Houthi ceasefire deal. We're going to be discussing that here in a second with, I forget what board of directors he's a part of. He's going to come up and discuss it. Something with defense.
U.S. does not include Israel. A spokesperson for the Houthis made the statement earlier today, suggesting that shipping attacks that have disrupted global trade will not come to a stop. President Trump announced Tuesday that the U.S. will stop bombing the Iran-linked group in Yemen, saying that the Houthis agreed to stop interrupting important shipping lanes in the Middle East. This morning, the Times
be good out there, Hook Dog. We'll see on the flip side, as always, my man.
Israel reporting that Israel was not made aware of the deal ahead of the announcement that the U.S. and the Houthis had reached a ceasefire deal. We know that 6 people were injured when the Houthi rebels fired a ballistic missile that impacted just outside of Ben Gurion International Airport in Israel over the weekend. We brought that to you as breaking.
Yo, extra surprise up in here. Good to see you, by the way.
News.
Morning.
And that led Israel to launch retaliatory strikes. A lot to discuss here, so I do want to bring in Jonathan Schanzer, the executive director at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Pleasure. Good to be with you.
All right. Well, first off, I do have to ask you, because over the weekend, we did see that ballistic missile that hit right near the airport there, a very busy one over in
We reported on that.
Israel. So what does that say overall about the Houthi capabilities.
Well, we've actually been watching these Houthi capabilities now since, I guess it was November of 2023. That's when they began firing at Israel. They have ballistic missiles. They've got the capability of firing at I think it's about 1,000 miles away, and to be able to hit with some accuracy. This is all thanks to the Iranian regime, which has provided the Houthis with the missiles that they've been firing at Israel.
Of course, they're part of the axis of resistance against Israel, and it's all funded by Iran. Well, just is.
What I think we can say about the attack the other day.
So he's the executive director of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies.
That was a near miss at Ben Gurion is that no
There's
air
the
defense
Discord.
system is
Link in.
hermetic. And so the Israelis have this, it's called Arrow 3. It's been very good in terms of shooting down ballistic missiles. We have the THAAD system that the United States has deployed.
Yes, and that was the THAAD system that was that failed, and that's exactly what the missile that they're talking about with the airport that recently happened in Israel. That was our defense systems that failed.
Deployed to the region. That's also been quite good at shooting down some of these missiles. However,
Quite good.
There is no such thing as a hermetic seal. Every system has its flaws. We're going to see that these systems are fallible at the end of the day. So that is what's happened in terms of exactly what the technical reasons were for the failure to shoot down those missiles. We're not sure yet. And I think at some point there should be some kind of a report from the US or from the Israelis, perhaps both. But in the meantime, interesting to see how the Israelis responded. It took, about a day, but they really unloaded on the Houthis. And then we saw that announcement just shortly after that they had arrived at some kind of an agreement with Donald Trump. Although, as you, I think, indicated, Josh, we're still trying to figure out exactly what the Houthis agreed to. In fact, just a few minutes ago, they fired a missile. It was apparently shot down in or around Saudi Arabia, or maybe it fell short. We're still getting some information about it, but the Houthis are not done with the
Yo, what's up, Lappy? Up in the building. Shout out to my man right there. Good morning.
That they launched back in November of 23.
And I do have to ask, because we always say the Iran-backed group. We say it about the Houthis, we say it about Hezbollah and Hamas.
Because it's true.
Can you explain Iran's role in the Houthis and really the terror group in general?
They're Big Daddy. That's all you need to know.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Sugar Daddy, Big Daddy. That's who they answer to. All of them.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Houthis actually existed before Iran began to provide its support. I mean, the Houthis truly emerged during the civil war.
Yeah, but a lot of these organizations did that. A lot of them were kind of like a movement that turned into a terroristic organization, and owned and operated by Iran.
That has erupted the Houthis truly emerged during the civil war that has erupted in Yemen that really began in the aftermath of the Arab Spring some 10 years ago. But the Houthis were a disaffected group, existed for, their own reasons within Yemen. But the Iranians are quite good at this, right? They find co-religionists who, are eager to fight, whether that is a local fight against their own government, which is certainly what happened when the civil war erupted, but then also attacks against Israel, against the Saudis, against the Emiratis. We've seen this now play out in multiple theaters.
Yes.
The Houthi violence. We see that the Iranians have been providing guidance. They've got advisors.
Well, the Houthis are a little bit more crazy because they actually have access to destroying an entire shipping route. So they have a little bit more strength than some of the other organizations out there. They have a little bit more control of that. And the whole reason why we're even having this ceasefire deal, what we're discussing here, is Israel, I guess, was made unaware of this. I guess they didn't actually know the news until it was being reported on. Not this exact thing, but when they announced that there was going to be some sort of ceasefire, blah, blah, blah. And I guess this is happening this Monday or something, some of the effect. But nonetheless, that's why the Houthis, or what I was getting at with that whole thing, is that the ceasefire happened, and it's regarding shipping. Okay, so basically, there's an agreement to allow shipping to continue in the Red Sea. I don't see there being necessarily them playing nice. I just don't see that, especially what we just did to the Houthis. Yeah, let's just go ahead and have American ships go through there and watch what fucking happens. We got OB Joe up in the building saying morning and all. Goddamn, haven't smoked a bowl topped with lava rocks in a while. Fucking love this podcast. Hey, my man, I love that shit too. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Absolutely. Good morning and happy hump day to everybody.
On the ground, they're providing weapons to the group. In other words, this is just like Hezbollah, just like Hamas, just like Islamic Jihad, just like some of those Shiite militias that we see in Iraq and Syria. It's part of a strategy that the Iranian regime has. We call it the Ring of Fire. And the idea is to have multiple proxies be able to threaten or even do damage to countries like Israel, American assets in the region. Certainly, we've been hit a number of times. And again, you know, some of the other pragmatic states in the region have also been targeted. So this is the strategy of the regime, and it's been working well for them up until it hasn't. And what I mean by that is that, of course, Hamas is now significant.
Up until we airstruck the fuck out of them. That's really, really what it is. I mean, Israel did a number on them too, but we fucked them up.
Weaker. Hezbollah is significantly weaker. I think the Houthis certainly have taken their lumps over the last couple of months and certainly over the last couple of days. So the question really in my mind right now is how strong is this network of proxies that Iran has deployed? Right now, it doesn't look good for them, but they still have capabilities.
When we talk about this potential ceasefire that appears to have been reached, the deal between the U.S. and the Houthis, as I mentioned, the Times of Israel saying that Israel is not involved and actually didn't even know about this when it was happening. They knew about it when the announcement came from,
right, exactly,
from President Trump.
That's what I had said.
Does that say for the war there in Gaza? Does it have any sort of implications, especially as we know the Houthis have been not just attacking Israel, but also causing issues there for shipping?
Yeah, from what we can tell, this was a deal that was really only designed to open up the shipping lanes in the Red Sea.
That's exactly what I had just said to you guys. Mike Ball is spot on this morning.
Which is significant. I mean, let's just start with that. We're talking about probably 10 or 12% of global trade goes through the Red Sea shipping channel.
Mm-hmm.
The Suez Canal, I mean, the traffic and the taxes derived from that traffic, I mean, it's dropped significantly. I think the Egyptians have been in bad shape. Some of the countries in the Horn of Africa have also suffered economically from this. Prices have gone up for things that would be typically shipped by way of the Far East or the Middle East to Europe. That has been significantly disrupted. So I think there was some benefit there. The problem is that if the deal that was struck does not actually include the missiles that the Houthis have been firing at Israel, what we have is an inherently unstable Middle East that is going to remain inherently unstable. In other words, we're not tackling all of these problems. Now, it doesn't mean that the U.S. has the responsibility to bomb the Houthis because of what's been happening, but I do think that making side deals is potentially problematic. I think we have to...
Yeah, it's extremely problematic. Israel is totally going to be like... They're totally... You don't want to have these guys bummed out at us at this point. You know, I'm just going to be honest.
Understand that this is
even though they need us, and they know it.
Happening amidst conversations that
just
the Trump administration is having. There'll be another round of nuclear...
I don't like finding out shit on the internet or fucking on the world's platform of the mainstream media. You know, I wouldn't want that. I'd want a phone call like, hey, motherfucker, this is the deal that we made. You know what I mean?
Talks with the Iranians, indirect talks out of Oman. That's coming up on May 11th. And so the understanding, at least in part, as we piece all this together from the region, is that the administration is trying to line up a few things as possible external concessions to the Iranians in exchange for maybe concessions that the Iranians are going to make at the negotiating table. That's if things go well. If they don't go well, then what we're going to see is just more of the same, with just a side deal for the U.S. to get out of the Red Sea region. So again, a lot of things happening here. We're watching it all unfold in real time.
All right, Jonathan Schanzer, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and help discuss all this. There's obviously a lot to discuss, so anything you want to add before I let you go?
Oh, I think, we're all just waiting right now for this announcement from Donald Trump. Apparently a big announcement coming, rumors of aid distribution to Gaza that will be, direct assistance from the United States, possible hostage releases, but we obviously don't know. Again, a lot of things happening right now.
Yeah, there is a lot. Real quick, so I know I've shown this before, but I want to show this again, what they're talking about the Red Sea and what I was talking about with Yemen having a lot of control and the Houthi rebels being over here in Yemen, that they have a little bit more of control over the world, essentially, because there is transportation right here. It's a shipping lane. These red dots that you guys see here are all the attacks the Houthis have done to ships, and I believe that the majority, well, some of them are U.S. flagships. As you can see, they really do a number on these guys, but that is the control that they have. As you guys can see here in Yemen, believe it or not, the majority of their population is right here on the west side of Yemen. And then the rest of this is a lot of mountainous region, and it's kind of unattainable and unlivable. So everything is pretty much right here in this little corner. And this is where the Houthis control their shit. So this is where the negotiation of, hey, we'll stop bombing the shit out of you guys if you stop attacking ships. So we'll see how that fucking goes. We'll see the update on that here in the following days. It's continuing breaking news. So real quick, let's go ahead and get into I want to see real quick if they have elected a new pope yet. I want to see, because this was the end of it. Oh, no, it shows how long they've been voting for now. Yeah, so it's just still underway. So 1 out of the 3 obviously are going to be elected today. That is the end of the news cycle. I know this was a little bit of a shorter one, but we were able to bring a couple of stories that are local anyways, and I thought that would be a good way to fill the time as well. Let me make sure that we're going to send you guys over. We're going to do a raid skis. Let's go ahead and raid you guys over. Let's see if Black Dragon's still live right now. It shows that he's still live, but let's see if he's like wrapping up or whatever. No, he's up there talking and having a good time. He's actually got a decent amount of people in there right now. So let's go ahead and send it over to him and just add to the equation of just send people. He's got a good amount of viewers right now. Might as well, show a little love and support back to him, So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank you enough for all of your guys' engagement. You guys hitting that like button at the end here, and or in the beginning or in the middle, doesn't matter, as long as you guys did it, man. That's all that fucking matters. Brother Provo, I very much appreciate you. Always appreciate you hanging out with us, by the way. And I was able to catch the last couple of live streams that you did, man. They were always fantastic. I actually made an offhand comment, I guess, that I love the way that you live stream. You actually walk around freehand with a mic and a cord, you know what I mean, for people that haven't seen you. I always thought that was really fucking unique. I thought that was a really cool thing that you do. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness. We're going to be back tonight as well, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern for the Diamond Effect. We're going to be discussing NATO. With that being said, much love, respect, and God bless to everybody.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, he rides onto wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar,